What is going on, Internet? I'm Sean McGinnis, and our live stage show coverage continues with Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood. I am joined by Vincent and Patrick from Ubisoft, who are here to guide us through the game. Guys, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
So, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it picks up the story of Ezio. He's in Rome this time around. What's new? What's going on in Brotherhood that players should expect?
So it's a brand new chapter of Assassin's Creed. We're continuing the story of Ezio Auditore and of Desmond Miles, the guy in the present, as they both, in their time period, go and fight the forces of the Templars. So Ezio Auditore will go in Rome, center of power and corruption. That's where the Borgia are, and they're the representative of the Templar. And he will assemble a new Assassin's Guild based on the philosophy of Altair from Assassin's Creed 1. And he will raise an army to go and take care of the Borgia once and for all.
All right, well, let's jump right into the gameplay. We've got it loaded up here. So, guys, go ahead and set the stage for the demo that you're about to show us.
So this is basically one of the first things people will see when they'll start Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Basically, Ezio went back to home after everything that happened in Assassin's Creed 2. So he's back home in his villa in Monteriggioni, and he needs a break.
And clearly Ezio's still a bit of a ladies' man.
Still a ladies' man, of course. This is Caterina Sforza. Players will have met her in Assassin's Creed 2. So his ultimate suit has been destroyed by a bullet that shot through the window. Ezio comes out and realizes that his entire villa is under attack by cannons and a huge army, a disproportionate army, basically. And basically this is being led by Cesare Borgia. He's the Pope's army commander, basically, and he's also the son of the Pope. So this guy's frustrated. He decided to strike back at Ezio for his attempt at assassinating Rodrigo Borgia.
So in Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio kind of went through the growing pains of becoming an assassin, learning the trade, learning the skills. How do you pick up Assassin's Creed Brotherhood with the fact that Ezio, he's a pretty skilled assassin from the outset?
Yeah. This was just one of our constraints. There's two things. First of all, we don't want to assume that everyone will have played Assassin's Creed 2. So this being a full sequel, we have to teach new players to play the game. So we've, as usual, we'll be introducing most of the abilities and skills and features of the game through the narrative. The second part is that Ezio this time around, since he's a master assassin, will assemble a new Assassin's Guild. So he will basically have to recruit and train new assassins to form a guild. So we will use that to teach even more about the game through the recruits instead of through the main character.
Right.
So you just saw the horse earlier. This is an integral part of the game. Basically, the horse has always been in Assassin's Creed, but it was mostly used as a means of transportation between cities. This time around, it's fully integrated in the city. Players will be able to use it to go from point A to point B, but also fight on the horse and use the horse as a moving platform.
Now, Assassin's Creed 2, I mean, just like the first Assassin's Creed, it was made up of a number of cities connected by the countryside. You would, go to any city that you wanted to. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty much all contained within Rome, right?
You're right.
Why did you guys make the decision to go to one big city? I know Rome is pretty big. It could definitely house an entire game.
Yeah, that's the idea. Instead of having a kingdom connecting cities, we've decided to put the kingdom in the city. So you'll get to have many different districts. They're not necessarily districts in the same sense as the cities in the previous games, but you'll have different parts with very, very strong themes throughout, such as a more countryside part. Then you'll have the antique Rome with the ruins and the Colosseum and the known landmarks. Then you'll have like a more like a downtown urban area, and then you'll have the Vatican and other regions. So you'll be able to travel all over the city.
Now, how do the well, in Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio had the villa out in the countryside that he could sort of, you know, spruce up, add his own personal touch to that. How does that work in Rome?
As you can see, it gets destroyed. So that was done on purpose to set the stage. So everything that players liked in we called it the villa management system, we've integrated fully in Rome, but we also tied it better to the economic system and to the story. So basically Ezio, in a way, brings the Renaissance to Rome by upgrading shops, building structures, and as he does so, it will improve the mood of the city. Citizens will appreciate what he's bringing, and you'll see that they'll start to help you out systematically.
Are we talking like a Civilization 4 level control over the city and the kingdom there?
No, not really. We want a game to be accessible. This is still an action-adventure game, so there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of adventuring.
Yeah.
All the rest is there for fun. It's a sandbox game, so we're just piling up the features. Everything that was in AC1 is still there, and then everything that's in AC2, and then we're adding a couple of really big features on top of improvements all over.
We've got some audience questions coming our way. John Savage from Glendale, Arizona is wondering about the recruiting system. How much choice do you have on the types of people that you recruit into your Assassin's Guild?
You'll find these guys throughout the city. They're either, we like to call them heroes without a cause, or rebels without a cause. And they're either already involved in some combat or fighting or in trouble, so you help them out, and then they will pledge their allegiance to Ezio and to his cause. They will join the Assassin's Guild, but as trainees, as new recruits. And what you'll be able to do is to send them out on contract assignments all across Europe. This is a mini game inside the game in which you'll see the map of Europe, and you'll be able to choose which are the best missions to send them. When they return successfully, you'll be able to spend the experience on skills and abilities to upgrade them to your liking.
Now, one of the big new features in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, obviously, is the inclusion of multiplayer, a first in the Assassin's Creed series. We've actually got some video of that, so why don't we go ahead and get that queued up and get that started. It's the beauty of live internet television, everybody. We've got to actually go from the game on the PlayStation 3 to the cross-media bar on the PlayStation 3 and get it loaded.
Yeah. Full game, yeah.
All right, here we go. So walk us through what's going on here and what you guys are trying to do with multiplayer.
So here we're showcasing a little bit of the multiplayer. This is in one of our maps, which is the city of Rome, so it's in front of the Pantheon. What we're showing today, this week at E3, is the Wanted mode. So of course, in the final game, players will enjoy a few more modes than this one. The Wanted mode is basically like a cat and mouse gameplay, where the player will have a contract on someone, but someone has a contract on the player, and so it's like a love triangle of death.
A love triangle of death, exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
The multiplayer is built on the same gameplay pillars as the single player, so you'll do a lot of free running. It's an open world. Of course, there's smaller sized portions of the cities to make them interesting, but you do a lot of free running, some fighting. Using each character has its own style of assassination, and then of course there's the social stealth element. You would, in this mode, you're earning points not just by killing people, but also by escaping your predator.
Now, the characters that you play as, you've got some customization over them.
Customization comes through the way you want to play, basically. So you can choose the skin, basically, the visual of the character. And this comes with their personalized animation. So they have their own style. They each have a different type of weapon. They don't necessarily have hidden blades. Some will have the barber has a shaving knife. The hunter has how do you call that, a jackknife, and the courtesan has its own weapon, and so on. And then players will be able to choose the abilities they associate with the skin they've chosen. So that's how they can customize you if you want the way they play.
Right now, if you look at the screen, the character has the smoke bomb and the charge ability. So players will be able, as they progress in the game, to acquire new abilities and then customize the sets. It's a little bit like the perks in Call of Duty. So that's how we want to focus the customization, because at the same time we wanted to have iconic looks for our characters so that people can recognize it easily, especially since it's linked with the image of the avatar of the player need to kill. So for us it was important that we were able to say okay, I need to kill a doctor, and I can easily find in the crowd where could be my target. So for example, every time that the player dies, is able to change his ability set, and depending on if you prefer to be a guy that is aggressive or focused on free running, you're going to choose a certain set, and also based on who you're playing with. If you're playing with guys that likes to be on rooftop, you're probably going to like the hidden gun. If there's guys that prefer stealth, you'll want something else. So players are going to be able to set those package of abilities and use that based on the situation they are in the game.
Now, as far as the story goes, how is it explained that you've got so many people plugged into the Animus in multiplayer, but just the one in single player?
In fact, at the beginning of AC2, I think that the hardcore fans they noticed that hint that we've given, which when Desmond escaped Abstergo, he goes like how come there's so many Animus around? And actually, the story of AC2 was that Desmond in the present would go back to play Ezio to use the bleeding effect, where would just by being in the Animus, he would absorb the skill of his ancestor. So the Templars are using the Animus to train an army today to become assassins also. And we're playing with it in the story, where basically we're inviting players in real life to play the Animus so that they're fighting for the Templar. And we really thought that was a nice touch, because single player players and multiplayer players, they're different in their behaviors. Like they have they prefer different things. So we said, okay, we're going to showcase that aspect in our game, where it's going to be those two factions. Players that like single player, they're going to prefer Ezio and that story, and then another completely different style for and a little story that is different for players that wants to join the multiplayer, and are going to see a little bit more about what's going on with the Templars at Abstergo.
All right, guys. Well, you've done a great job of explaining about the single player and the multiplayer. I appreciate your time very much, Vincent, Patrick. Thanks a lot for joining us today. All right, guys, so that is just about going to do it for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. We're going to continue with some live floor coverage, starting off with Bethesda.